Entrepreneurship is hard and lonely. If you look at the current state of social media, you would think that 98% of the time in entrepreneurship, it's sunny and rosy and fun, when in reality it's the reverse. The reality is most people spend a lot of their times day in and day out in dark clouds, not sunshine. When you own your own business, everything is your own fault. You are basically in the business of putting out negative fires. Disproportionately, our time is spent in navigating or anticipating dark clouds. It's not glamorous, it's not getting the accolades of selfies and being there, it's not the big time meetings with the biggest companies in the world, it's just hardcore dirt. And I think that anybody that doesn't realize that is not building an actually successful business. They're living in a fake environment, or they're naive and they don't realize it's coming. The percentage of successful entrepreneurs, ones that can make a living and live their lives on their own back, not in a company structure, is quite low. We are in the firefighter business. A person who lives their life every day of anxiety of knowing they are the last line of defense. Some days are gonna be a 15-hour day when you have a business, because what people that don't have businesses don't realize is your business is the other child, you know? And it's also the child that feeds your actual child. And so, you know, I think that people are like, oh man, like they can never say like, oh my God, I'm gonna pick my business over my child. But the reality is there's not an entrepreneur on the planet that hasn't in the micro, not in the macro. And so it's a game of not beating yourself up, brother. Like you have, God willing, the next 70 years, at least, maybe 80, given how young you are in modern medicine, to spend time with that child. You know, nobody wants to miss an hour here or an hour there. Who wants to miss their kid's first step or their first word? Nobody wants to miss a recital or a big game, and you fight for those things. I always fight for those things. My friends, we're living through the greatest era of fake entrepreneurship right now. It's gotten so cool that everybody wants to be one, and it scares me. Listen, I was one. I'm benefiting from the popularity of entrepreneurship. That doesn't mean that I don't want to talk about all the perils when you try to be an entrepreneur when you're not. I want to remind this room that the 17th employee at Facebook made a lot more money than 99.99999% of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship on a pedestal is a very dangerous game. It's extremely lonely, it's extremely difficult, and the reality is, to be a true entrepreneur that's able to navigate successfully, you have to be in a position where you have a great relationship with the judgment. People struggle with judgment, especially from their friends and family. Judgment is the poison of our society, and it is accelerated where you have nowhere to hide. I think being an employee is phenomenal, and I'll tell you why. The best part of being an employee is you always have somebody else to blame. One of the reasons I know that we're living through the greatest era of entrepreneurship is because I get hundreds and thousands of DMs and messages, and I have meetings with entrepreneurs every day, and I am fascinated with their ability to spend the majority of our time together complaining or painting a picture of other people within their organization being at fault for their lack of success. 100% of the problems with your company is 100% your fault. When I tell you that there are 500 problems at VaynerMedia that I can think of right now, I can do that right now. They're all my fault, because the people that are running those situations, I hired them. They may suck, but it's my responsibility to fire them and replace them. I'm also the one that hired them. Or I hired the person that hired them. I promise you, the quickest way to happiness and success is 100% blind accountability.